Hey, all my fantasy football friends. Welcome to the Multiple First channel. This is Tony here with you today, your host with the most. Today we're breaking down some different stuff, man. I got Greg on the show today, and we're just gonna be going through a league we just jumped in together. So what we're trying to do is put a league together, not put a league together, but go in as co-owners on a team and have like a league of record for our channel, something we can really put our names on as content creators. These are the players, these are the trades, these are the transactions that we can have kind of a recurring thing going on. So we got that going. Um, I'm in a Devy league right now. I'm drafting. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Greg wants to talk about some Bestball stuff, and who knows what else we might get into. But how you feeling today, brother?
It's startup season. Tony, I love it. Let's get right into this material. So I am dying to know, how's your first ever Devy draft going?
Yeah, man, I'm in a Devy right now. It's on the screen currently, and unfortunately, I got stuck in the 12 hole of the draft process, so don't like that. Um, and I'm playing with a lot of like my friends, some guys that are really experienced players. And get this, man. Tell me if you've ever heard this from me, the Stosh. I'm 24 rounds into this draft. I have not completed a trade.
Oh,
Oh, that's right, man. It hurts.
oh,
It hurts a lot.
oh. And those turns are usually good spots for trading, right? Because you're like, oh, I'll sit here, I'll take my one guy, and I'll drop back off the other spot, play the tiers. But it sounds like a learning experience, huh?
Yeah, it's been tough. Like I took quarterbacks with my first 4 picks. So the way this Devy draft breaks down is like there's kickers and there's IDPs both live. And the kickers represent 22 rookies, and then these defensive backs we have turned on represent Devy picks. And the Devy draft we're going to do this year is not just 2023 players, but it's anyone who's currently in college. You could take a college freshman. Guys like Arch Manning, who's currently like today a college senior, would be off the table. But like I could
High
take
school
dudes from
season.
yeah high school season, yeah high school senior. But I could take 2024 players, 2025 players. Um, so I took 4 quarterbacks in a row to start on my draft just because the rest of the league was fading them. I got Trevor Lawrence to the 312, so feel good about that. But
Where did Devy 101 go?
Devy 101 went at the 110 to Kevin Bach. And I was
Yeah,
prepared to take it on my opening corner. I mean, we're thinking that's Bijan or Stroud, right?
yeah.
Yeah, for those
You
of
could
you,
take
yeah,
you could take Devy 101, 102 there. I mean, honestly, like,
yeah, I might
it's
have done
what
that. The
what
102 slipped down to 3.6.
okay.
I took Lamar and Dak. I don't know. And then Russ and Lance go as the next 2 picks off the board. It's like they were feeding me quarterbacks, and I'm going to take these QBs if they feed them to me. But this was tough making these
Where
decisions in
did
here.
rookie 101 go?
2021 rookie 101 went into
2020.
2.7, so it went about
2.7 is pretty high. So, but no, that tells you where Brees Hall's going. Yeah,
yeah.
Brees Hall's, but yeah, definitely after the Devy picks. That's it. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Um, so how many Devy players is each are allotted? How are the Devy players allotted in this league?
I mean, if you take a DB, you get that Devy. It's a 3 round Devy draft and a 4 round 2022 rookie draft. So
A 3 round Devy draft,
that's pretty short, I think,
and
right?
you can take as many Devys as there's no limit
Yeah,
to how many
as
Dev.
DBs you get, right? It's like we're doing 3 drafts this offseason. We're doing this draft, and then it'll feed into the rookie draft, and then it'll feed into the Devy draft, right? So it's a
And
lot of
then
action.
those Devy players are tradable, but and then there'll be another Devy draft each year.
Yeah, there'll be a Devy draft in so like when we do our rookie draft next season, it's going to be a 4 round draft that is the incoming 2023 rookies who are currently unclaimed, plus
Mm-hmm.
any of the new Devy prospects, and it's all baked in together. There's not like
All in
all in
okay,
one 4 round banger next
and
year.
you can take as many. Okay, okay, that's interesting.
I think
Uh,
so. It's my first experience with it, and it's
or
neat.
or is it a deal where you can take a Devy draft pick with your rookie draft pick?
No, you
I know.
cannot.
I
We're
know.
not doing that.
Okay.
It's like next year it'll be,
It'll be all in one.
I could take, some
So
23 prospect who's
so
unclaimed, or like Arch
it.
Manning, fresh college freshman. Like I could do that
Oh,
next
that's
year.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's going to be really weird trying to like rectify. Like I can get a player coming in now who maybe is less valuable than this guy who's 2 or 3 years away, and you're gonna be on the clock making that choice. You know, um, really really weird.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, so the person who finishes last doesn't get the top rookie, the top unclaimed rookie, and the top
Devy.
Devy.
Yeah, and
No,
that's kind of
okay.
why we decided to do it like that. Was we were trying to figure out, well, should we do a split in future years, rookie and Devy, or what do we do? And then in that case, someone has to track those Devy picks separately because those could be traded separately as assets. And we thought it best to just. And then how do we decide the order for the rookie draft?
Mhm.
So we just decided, nix all
That's
that,
interesting.
smush it all into one. We just have a future draft, and it's the incoming rooks plus the new Devies.
Interesting. That's interesting. I know some leagues do it where like each year there's I don't know 12 or 24 Devy picks, or in a separate third draft,
Mm-hmm.
and you select those with your rookie draft picks. So
Yeah,
like you can,
I can
so
see that. Yeah.
you can select an incoming rookie or the like the Devy 101, and you use defensive backs for those or
Mm-hmm.
something.
I understand.
So,
I could see that being a thing.
yeah. I know some people do it like that, and then you have to have a third draft. But yeah, because and then some people do it where the team that finishes last gets the rookie 101 and the Devy 101, which seems like a lot.
Yeah, that we wanted to
Uh,
get away from that. That's why
yeah. Very interesting. Well, so what's your highest Devy pick?
My highest Devy is so I took 222 rookies at I took the 104 and 105. Yeah. 104 and 105 I selected at the 5-6 turn, and then I have Devy 6 and Devy 7. I think that's what these are. And then I came
Mm-hmm.
back in the next corner and I took Devy 112 and Devy 201. All, at the same time. Or it's Devy I have 7, 8, 12 and 201. I got four
Oh, it's
picks
going
in
to be
that.
very interesting.
Yeah, I'm hoping I don't know, without revealing too much. I definitely want one of the big boy tight ends coming out, like a Mayer or who's the other guy? Notre Dame kid.
Yeah, I know.
I forget his
Yeah.
name. Yeah.
Um. Yeah, and then obviously you've got several years worth. Are you intending to target the 23 draft class with your Devy picks, or are you?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm hoping. Stroud and what's his name? Who's the kid for
Yep,
Bama?
Bryce Young.
Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna be off the table, but there's guys like Levitz or Jordan Addison that I'm gonna be able to pick up with this. I'm just happy I even know these players' names, man. In years past, I would have no
And
idea.
Tank Bigsby. Getting,
Yeah, yeah. Zach Charbonnet.
I wonder how much a guy like Tank Bigsby goes up fantasy boards, like one or two spots because he's got a cool name. I always wonder that.
Dude,
Right?
name matters. Imagine if you were reaching on Amon-Ra St. Brown last year just because of name. Like, you'd be so
I,
happy right now.
I think the fantasy footballers have Pat Fryermuth one or two spots higher than he should be in the entire
yeah.
in the entire dynasty community.
Mm-hmm. Just because of youth. Yeah.
Because the Muth is loose. Yeah, I absolutely think that is fun, and enough people listen to the footballers that people are like half a hair high on him. Like he's fine last year. I like Trey McBride more than him going forward.
Is there any players like you like just because of name that really, name is like, oh, I love his name and I love his, I don't know, just who he is. Anyone like that for you?
Oh, ooh, I can't think of one off the top of my head. I'd have to get back to you. No, I struggle with that one.
No, you're good. Yeah.
You know, I may be a little too old for that. I was a big Flipper Anderson fan when I was a kid. That may be too old a reference for you, Tony.
I don't know who that is. I'm about to look him up.
That may be too old of a reference for you.
He's a Rams player. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I believe he maybe holds the single game receiving record.
Is he really?
He was not a great player, but had like a bursty season. Let me look him up. Flipper Anderson.
Flipper
Great audio here.
Anderson. There he is.
What was it? I think he had 300 some yards, 336 yards on 15 catches on 1 week in 1989. Just like out of nowhere.
Putting Jerry Rice to shame. Coming
Yep.
out there. That's awesome. Yeah.
This was back in the day. This was before. God, this was before the internet, much less even like Sunday Ticket, right? So this game was on a Monday night, I believe, because I remember seeing it. I would have been a preteen at the time, right?
Yeah, it says 336 yards in a game.
You don't get those. You don't get Rams games where I was growing up, right? Like because this was back when you got the local game, and that was what you got. So yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, there's an example of a guy who I fell in love with because of the name. But yeah, I do think Freiermuth, definitely. So I've been doing some Bestball.
Yeah, what you been getting into lately?
So I've been getting into Bestball, which I think is doing these little underdog 12-team, 18-round Bestball drafts. Try to do the cheap one and do a bunch of them. And the reason I'm trying to do that is I think it gets my redraft legs under me, right? Because in Dynasty, you've got your roster build, right? But we are now pivoting into part of the season, where we're wanting to ramp up for title runs. And doing some best ball is a great way to get a good feel for where those rental players are, right? Where those one season values are, right? Which one of these older running backs am I going to want to go add? Which one of these quarterbacks that might only have a job for half a season has the best chance of helping me out this year in my Superflex league, right? And I think doing these with real people who have real skin in the game, even if it's only a couple of bucks, is a much better way than doing mock drafts to really get an idea of exactly how people are valuing players. It's funny, Gabe Davis is going so high. I've got so much of him in Dynasty. He's going so high in these things I can't get to him, right? So those are the insights you get by doing these. And the other thing it allows me to do is it allows me to scratch my running back itch because I hate running backs in my Dynasty builds, right? And so rather than, I really like this guy for this year, Aaron Jones, for example. I love Aaron Jones for this year. I think Aaron Jones is going to lead all running backs in targets. There's a chance he leads the Packers in targets. There's a world where he is the running back one because he is the best receiver on that team and also getting, let's say, a 40% share of the backfield. Maybe there's a world where they didn't sign receivers because they're planning to use him a lot like that. But he's not going to be there more than one more year. He's an old running back. I don't want this guy on my Dynasty rosters. I don't want to pay a first-round pick for Aaron Jones.
Yep.
But that's what people are going to want for him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and people are trying to sell me him, in my Dynasty teams. You look thin at running back there. Aaron Jones for your next year's first, right? This is an opportunity to get exposure to that. And if it goes all that way, then you hit on him in a bunch of best ball drafts and you do well over there. And that can definitely counteract the fact that you might not have had a season-breaking player in your Dynasty builds, right? And so there are a bunch of guys who I like a lot in Redraft who I'm able to get some exposure to without having to put them on my dynasty rosters. And it also just gives you an idea where people are too low on people going into this season. So you find a guy who you like, who is continually going too low in your estimation, then you can go look at that guy in your dynasty leagues and see what he's being valued as there, especially if he's a short-term player.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I would say that the guys I am getting all the exposure to are at wide receiver, it's Christian Kirk, Devin Duvernay, Darnell Mooney, and Deontay Johnson. These are the undervalued players in redraft, I think, here. Alan Lazard, honorable mention. And then Cole Kmet is so badly undervalued right now.
Yeah, Kmet.
For the extreme amount of targets he's going to get. And people are also fading Derrick Henry more than I would have thought as a rental. So I'm seeing him going late in the first round. And so if people are thinking he's a late first round redraft asset, I bet you're starting to get into the area where if he's on a non-competing team, you could get him for a second and a third at this point, like
2 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, right. Instead of having to give those 23 firsts, right? I'm just, I'm surprised at how low McCaffrey's going top 3.
Yep.
102, 103. Right. So people are all the way back in on McCaffrey.
Yeah. Like nothing happened at all.
Like nothing happened at all.
Yeah.
So this is a sell window in your dynasties on McCaffrey.
I think
and
so.
Maybe,
yeah.
And maybe a way to make you feel better about that is to go pick him up in some best ball. Right. So anyway,
hedge. Yeah.
This has been something I've been doing to connect with the fantasy, the broader fantasy community, or landscape of games instead of just a dynasty. Because at the end of the day, dynasty is just redraft year after year. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right. We score the games the same way, and so on some level, who are the best guys this year is a question we can get too far away from in our dynasty builds.
We can, and I want to get in there in some underdog. I might have to do that a little bit. Maybe throw $50 in there and jump in a few of those. That sounds really interesting. I like how there's no transactions and it's best ball, so you just draft it and then it's done. Right? There's like you don't interact.
No team management. Yeah, I worry for you, Tony. I worry.
You should.
I worry you're not going to be able to. I worry waivers are going to become a thing that gives you panic attacks. Because when you get up to that number of teams and you're not doing any of them justice in team management, that's a problem, right? So these best balls can be good. I'm looking forward to getting some best ball dynasty even perhaps going. I know that's something I've never tried, but these are just set it and forget it, and I love it.
Yeah, right, I need some best ball dynasty as well. It sounds like fun. I'm not in any best ball leagues.
We got there's too much to do when the injuries come out, right? Yep. Like if you absolutely have to be there when the injuries come out so that you can race through every lineup before the first one kicks off and you end up with injured players. Like if that hour is miserable because you don't have a second to spare, then you're in too many leagues.
Yeah, if someone I'm trying to think of a guy I have high ownership of, if Judy were to be ruled out before the games, or I don't know, Ayuk, I have a lot of Ayuk right now. If he were to be ruled out right before the kickoff, a half hour before kickoff, Shanahan will announce that 15 minutes before kickoff. Then that'd be problems for Stash.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. All right, so moving on to our upcoming team. So what we've got coming up in this Superflex draft, and we're gonna walk through and highlight the different picks as we go, and put up some videos where we talk about any trades we make and some of this stuff. But the overall format's going to be a 12-team league, right? And it's going to be a Superflex league, start 10. It's one tight end with no premium, It's a full PPR league with 6-point passing touchdown. 3 flex spots, so start 10. And basic PPR scoring with long play bonuses. 28 round startup draft with a 4-round rookie draft to follow with inverted. Those picks are not tradable on the platform. And then it's going to have a Derby startup. Now, Tony, why don't you explain Derby startup for anybody who hasn't experienced one of those?
So Derby is the best way to start your Dynasty League. So the Derby startup is every individual owner gets to select their draft position before the draft starts. It's almost like a mini first round. There's a lot of different ways you can determine the order for your Derby. Generally, they'll just roll the draft order within the app, within Sleeper, and then go down that list 1 through 12 and say, where would you like to sit, sir? Where would you like to sit, sir? And, it's not that crazy. Usually, the top seats go first. Quite frequently, the 101 is the first Derby selection. But after a few come off the board, at some point, especially in a split vet rookie split like we're doing, choosing that 112 seat, which gives you that 101 rookie, gives you that Brees Hall. That's got a lot of value, and so there's definitely a balancing act to be made there. What do you like in a Derby this year as far as where would you pick, I suppose, or where, how does it break out for you, Mr. Greg?
Honestly, I think you have to start. I'm taking Allen. I'm taking Mahomes. I'm taking Herbert.
Yeah. I like Burrow. I have Burrow right with those 4 guys. I don't think there's a split. I think he's right in that group with them. Maybe you.
I'm not there. I'm
Okay.
not there.
Okay.
I love his long term future. I think he wasn't great. I mean, he was not great last year. He was incredibly efficient, but his overall fantasy finish was just good. You know what I mean? It wasn't overwhelming. I think he was the quarterback 10 in 4-point, and I think a little better in 6-point. Right, so he was good, but like he was so efficient.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I want Joe Burrow, but like I think there's going to be a little regression on the efficiency. So if they run as much as they did last year, he might have a slightly worse season, and he wasn't like number 1 last year anyway. Yeah, it's tough because when you look at just these quarterbacks, there's after the top 3, you've got that next group that we all love. We all love Burrow. We all love Murray. I know you've got your issues with Murray.
Yeah, we're not taking him.
Yeah. I really like Lamar.
I like Lamar a lot.
But there's the age concerns. There's Watson. Dak Prescott. I like all of these guys, but I don't really like any of them. And then there's what do you do with Jalen Hurts, who might be the quarterback 4 or 5 in redraft right now.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah,
it's very young. Let Russ cook. So there's a lot of choices. So I actually think I might look at Chase and Jefferson here, or Chase and Jefferson and Taylor after the top 3 quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's I know Pitts is going in a lot of first rounds. I can't do that in a 1 tight end, no premium.
Yeah, Pitts is not really on my radar in the top 20, top 2 rounds. I can already smell that we're probably going to fade tight end for a good bit in this draft because there's no premium and it's only 1 tight end start. So, and there's so many guys down in the gutter that are like, I'm fine with. There's so many guys down there.
So I'm kind of throwing my my list together here, and I'm like not totally sure that I wouldn't go like somewhere between 3 and 6. I'm dropping down to 12, but I don't know. See, but then I don't know. Then you jump back up, right? I
Yeah,
think because you're not.
because it's
We
sketchier
both
after that.
like
We like Walker, but it's not. He's not dictating our overall seat in the draft to get him.
no.
Hmm.
Like getting Brees Hall is like getting a second round startup pick, and getting Kenneth Walker is like getting a what 4th round startup pick. So
Yeah.
it's it's not the same value, right? So you would drop down from 104 to 112 and pick up a 2nd round startup pick.
Yeah, there's also there's also a lot to be said about getting off the corner. Like you see in my Devy draft I showed earlier, like you can get locked into the corner, and I find it's actually kind of hard to make trades out of there. And like you're only there's just players that are completely out of your reach. Because they go on the left side of the draft board, and so it's just so you kind of want you want some pick spacing, if you can get it. Uh, I don't know. In
I
the
agree with that.
in the Derby, I've done a couple Derbies this season, and the one of them I had the second selection, and I picked the 103, and I took Herbert in that spot, and it was also a combo. I'm sorry, a split, vet rookie split. So I had the 110 to go with my 103, and that felt good. Who did I think I got Christian Watson in that spot, or Pickens, I forget. I'd have to look.
Yeah. So, looking at so I just queued up my top 12, just throwing it out there as I see them um, right now. And in this scoring, right? So in a tight end premium, Pitts is going to make this list, but I have like Allen. I have Allen, Mahomes, and Herbert, and I think you want 1, 3, 2 are your 3 best spots
Mm-hmm.
in that order, right? So you take Allen if you can get him, right?
Yeah.
Would you take Allen, or would you go to the 3rd spot to get off the corner?
Uh, the one I would go to one. I like 103. 101, 102, 103 should be the first three selections in
Which
the
order?
Derby.
What order would you put them in?
I like 3 over 2. I
Would
almost
you
like Herbert over Mahomes, honestly. Maybe
do you
they're
like
so close.
3 over 1?
Yes, yes I do.
You would go 3. I would go 3, 1, 2.
Yes, 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 yes.
All right. And then to me, the next 3 guys are Jefferson, Chase, and Taylor.
Yeah, those are the three guys after the quarterbacks. Absolutely.
I think I would take those 3 guys and not worry about.
So you're taking
I think I would.
Jefferson at the 104? Is that what you're saying?
I think I would.
Yeah.
I don't think I would take Lamar. I don't think I would take Burrow. I'm a little concerned about all those guys. Honestly.
Yeah, not to rehash this, we already went over it, but I was looking at those other QBs compared to Burrow, and Burrow only threw 520 passes, and those other three guys are all well over 600. So that's
Right.
kind of what you're
So
looking at.
like.
It's a little scary
Right.
in that way.
So
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. If he goes out and throws that many passes again and is a little less efficient,
He's
he's
not gonna
going
be
to
top
be
five.
he might not be top 12.
Yeah, it's hard with the receivers. He's going to
Right,
have some
but
certain amount of efficiency because the receivers are so good.
yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
he could be very good, but if he gets like the wrong touchdown luck, and it's a mix-any season, I don't know.
Yeah.
They play slow. Now, on the other hand, they fixed up the offensive line. Maybe they let him throw 600 times. I don't know. You could talk me into Burrow at 4.
I will try to if we end up there.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, uh,
I have
but
Jefferson over Chase, though. I agree with you on that. I would take
but
JJ.
I also kind of like after the top 3, that next big group is kind of a big group, and I just as soon drop out.
Yeah, so then it becomes for me talking about where does the rookie like A tier, where does that end? So you say Brees is kind of in his own tier certainly, and then you could make a case that 2 through like 8, as far as a rookie draft first round, are kind of all one tier. I mean, you could kind of
I
make that
agree.
case, So you want to be in there if you can, right? So that means we want to be
And the rookie draft is snake, right?
yes.
So if you're
And then,
down the
you
back
talk
of
about
that
where
tier,
does the next tier end in the second
if
round?
you're down the back
Exactly.
of
Yeah,
that tier, you're
yeah,
higher in the second.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if you were, I kind of want to be, yeah. So I would not mind being in a place where you were getting, if you couldn't get the top three guys,
Hmm.
top three quarterbacks, where you had one of Chase, Jefferson, Taylor, Burrow, Watson, or Jackson. Like I think those are the next six guys, and then I have Murray, Prescott, and Najee as the last three. I know you hate Murray, but that's
Yeah, I
how
mean,
I
that's
have
fine
it.
for him. He won't make it that far anyway. He won't be down.
No, he
Someone else will grab
won't.
him.
But
Yeah,
like, and if he did, you'd probably bite the bullet,
maybe.
right?
I might take Dak.
You'd at least. Well,
I might take Russ. Russ would be my next quarterback after those guys.
we can talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
He's too old. He's too old. I can't. I don't even if he Murray's worth more than Russ, even if he sits the whole season.
Yeah. Depends. Or we're gonna have to try to figure out what we're trying to do. Also, are we just trying to hustle all our picks off and go for 10, 23 first? And
yeah.
That would be kind of boring though. We maybe want to go for a championship type build.
Yeah, let's build a young championship team.
Yeah. The new hotness.
Let's build with some new hotness. Let's try to drop out a little bit, but maybe we drop out of the first round. Maybe we do.
We'll get one or two extra 23 firsts. We're gonna.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having no extra ones.
So what's the sweet spot for you here then? Is it if you're at?
Well, okay. I think it's the 4 quarterbacks. I know you're at 3, but I'm at 4, right? And then we say Jefferson, Chase, and Jefferson, Chase, and Taylor, right? So we're talking 7, right? And then on the flip side, on the rookie side of it, I think you want to be in the top 8. I think you can get Jameson, at like the 8 hole. Olave Jameson's like 7, 8. That's where I see him go, and I think you want to be within that range. Plus, within the second round of that context, within the second round of rookie drafts right now, you want to be in like the 2. If you can get a top 4, top 5 rookie pick for the second round, 2.4, 2.5, that's kind of where the end of that tier is, where you can get like maybe you take a shot at Malik, maybe you get a David Bell, maybe you get a Rashad White, whatever your flavor is, and Alec Pierce. That's kind of where those guys, fall off. So, if I could get, I'm not even sure. It's weird. The 7. The 107 hole might be interesting because then you're like the 2.6, right? So the 108, the 105 would get you the 108 rookie, which would also get you the 205 rookie. So that would be kind of really interesting. The 105
so that's going to get you your choice of So if you're at 105, you would have a choice of 3 from Burrow, Taylor, Chase, and Jefferson. One of those is gone.
Yeah, so and I'm cool with that.
And then you get the 8th guy. Are you and you're comfortable with that being Kenny Pickett?
At 108? Yeah, I would be. Yeah, if Pickett, I would love to get Pickett at 8. I've been taking him at 6 and 7 all over the place.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
What's the worst spot? What's like the worst? Where is like disaster mode? Oh, we got the 12th Derby selection and 10.
10.
Right? 10. Yeah.
Because 10 because then you're at 103, which is not any better than 107.
Yeah.
And then but like 10 is also you've missed on the top 3 guys plus the 2 receivers and the running back plus Burrow, and then you've also now missed on Lamar, right? So that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. That's 8 guys, and then I'm comfortable with Murray and you're not, and then that's too high for me for Dak, and then Najee's there, and neither one of us is really.
Neither of us want Najee. No, that's where we're trading. That's where we're finding a move to get out of there and get our 23 first.
Yeah, right. So I mean, Najee's the flex 4, right? Like I'll just tell you right now, Najee is the fourth flex play in a in a no tight end premium,
Hmm.
right? And Pitt, and then because then who's the next after that? It's Pitts, it's Cooper Cup, it's Devontae Williams, it's
DeAndre Swift, maybe Brees. Well, Brees isn't going to be here, but yeah.
CeeDee Lamb,
I
right?
like
But
Lamb a
like,
lot. I
but
really
none.
like
But
Lamb.
I'm not taking
Yeah.
any of those guys at 8-9, right?
No, no, not at all. I think that's the
It's
worst hole is
Watson.
8,
Watson
9,
is the
10.
9. No, no,
Yeah.
no. I'll take Watson at 9.
Okay.
We could take. I know he's a guy, or he's a thing, but like, okay, so the first 7, and then Lamar at 8 and
Yeah.
Watson at 9, I'm fine with that. So then 10, you get stuck with choice of like Dak or Kyler or Russ or Hertz. Like that's all a little high for that. Or Najee, or all of which would be okay if you were at 12 and you were getting Brees.
Hmm.
And so then you had 12, 13, and Brees
Yeah.
as your 3 foundational pieces, right? Because then if you go Dak Prescott 12, maybe Najee Harris 13, and Brees Hall with the rookie 101, then it's like, all right, now we can fade these running backs all the way through. We're like locked in 13 picks into the draft. We can fade the running backs all the way through, and we can just hit these receivers. And then you feel good about Dak on a win now build with those guys there, right?
Yeah, you do. I agree.
So I think that's how you play if you get stuck with the bad derby spots. Where are you willing to go to 112?
How many picks? If the top 5 are all off the board, that's where I'd start be considering 112. I definitely want one
All
of the
right.
top 5 picks for sure, right? I mean, that's you sounds like you're in a similar mind. Um,
I might go. I want one of the top 3 picks. I might consider it fourth. I might consider it fourth. I think that 101 is worth a lot.
I just think,
but I think I'm being out there. I realize I'm being out there.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You can get a haul for if one of the from trading off a lot of first round picks this year and doing 10 different startups this year, I can tell you, and coaching people through others. Okay, I can tell you that if one of those 4 big quarterbacks or Taylor is still on the board, one of those top 5 picks, you could just get so much in the trade off. It's like you can really hustle that pick away, for a big win. And then I've noticed that once you're outside that territory, if you're sitting in like the 7 hole and you're trying to trade off, and all the main quarterbacks plus Taylor are all gone, and Jefferson and Chase are both on the board where no one wants to trade up for one of them because the other one's still there, like it's really challenging to find a trade. Your ceiling for a potential trade from the back half of the first round is so much lower than for the first half.
All right.
So
So
that's
you're
why
3-1-2.
definitely 3-1-2. Yeah.
5. So you're 3-1-2-5-4.
Yeah, because I like being at 5 because then it moves my rookie pick up a little bit, and I can get a little more freedom on that side. Yeah.
Because 5 gets you into the top 8.
Yeah, so I can get like a JMO or a
Olave.
Pickett. Yeah, Olave. Maybe Garrett falls. I've seen Garrett fall to 6, 7
8?
area. I haven't seen him go to 8, but I've seen him fall to 7.
Well, that's what you get with 5.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to go? So all right. So then the next things are like 6, 7, 1, something like that.
So what we said 3, 1, 2. That's our top 3 Derby selections.
Yeah.
And then it's 5, 4.
5, 4.
And then 12. I think 12 would be after that. I think that's when we would go for Brees. Don't you? Or no?
Would you rather have Jefferson and the 107 or Brees and Dak Prescott?
Brees and the quarterback. I think. Where are you at?
Yeah, probably, but you might have to let me take Kyler Murray.
If Kyler was down there, I just don't think he'll make it to us.
Okay, that's fine. If
Kyler makes it past like 9, we can take him. All right.
Okay.
There you go. I'll clear the air. I'm not trying to be stubborn about it.
And so then we're going back to 6, 7.
Yeah.
8, 9, and then we really don't want, and then 11.
8, 9, 10, 11 is like that's the worst. That's like
I think 8 and 9. So 8 and 9, you at least start off with Lamar
yeah,
or Watson. I think,
yeah.
and then you've got a quarterback, and then you just right, and it's when you get into 10 and 11 that those guys are gone, and now you're asking yourself, do you want Dak?
And another factor at play is, and we already have the top round picks ranked higher, is like you want that higher third round pick too. It's kind of that's why I kind of think like 4 and 5 are up there where I wouldn't go to 12 yet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So like if, the 3.4 and the 312 are
Well, but you get
vastly
the higher
different.
one. You get that by going down to 12. 12 gets you the 101 and the 301.
Is this a third round reversal?
Oh, I don't know. That be Snake. That would be just standard Snake.
This is a snake. Yeah, well, I'm saying I'm not saying the third round rookie pick. I mean the third round startup pick.
Oh,
You know what
yes,
I'm saying?
yes,
So
yes,
like
yes,
the 105
yes.
hole is going to give me the 305 startup, and like the 305 I can get. I might be able to get Lawrence there, maybe, depending on the draft.
Yeah.
So it's
All right.
interesting. Versus the 312, like usually the talent kind of dipped by then a little bit.
So there we go. I think we have 3, 1, 2, 5, 4, 12, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 10. Do we want 11, 10 so that we
Yeah, I want 11 over 10 to secure Walker.
just go get Walker?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's where
All
I'm
right.
at. I mean, at that point, I would. I mean, if anything else, just because positional, right? I mean, give me the running back. I know I hate tailbacks, but when you're talking about rookies, that stigma's kind of lifted for me.
Yeah. Well, then, it looks like we will be getting going with this one pretty soon.
Yeah, looks like everybody's paid up. People are trying to do this. We'll be checking in with this. We'll be doing a couple check-ins every day or so. We'll be doing a check-in every day or so with this league, so you guys can follow along a live process. Me and Greg will be talking about how we're going to pick players together. We're going to be reviewing trades. This is very much the multiple first Dynasty football flagship team that you're going to watch us draft here live. Well,
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun.
yeah.
Usually shoot from the hip a little bit and have it's all my rankings and my list. It's going to be an interesting process to have to split this responsibility up and find consensus. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the best team either one of us has,
Or the worst.
or the worst. Right, right. It's either steel sharpens steel, or it's too many chefs spoil the soup. It's one of these two.
It's just
Let's
truth.
see.
Well, I can tell you one thing. For me, I'll be more competitive than I normally am, and I think for you, you'll have more futures than you normally do. So it should strike that good balance.
Very good. But I've dropped off too. I just can't do it like you can. I've got some 5 23 first squads. I just don't have any 8 23 first squads.
Yeah, I'm an extremist. What can I say? It's if you ain't first, you're last.
Oh boy, you had better hope that class hits, man.
I mean, it's looking good.
It looks
The mocks I
all
was
right.
looking at, man, I was looking at some mocks. They have like 3 tailbacks going in the first round.
Oh yeah,
So that's pretty
it's going to be
interesting.
deep.
You're talking
It's going to be deep.
the entire rookie first round 1 through 12 should all be first round NFL draft picks.
No, I bet you'll see some second round running backs in that group.
Probably. I mean, yeah. But
Right, because you know how the high second round running backs get, or that's plenty of capital. I bet because I think you're going to see like 3 more running backs go in the high second too.
Well, you'll see at least 12 skill guys go in the first round of the NFL draft versus this past year where we saw
Yes.
6, right, or 7, which is pathetic.
Yes. Yeah. I think you will see more than 12 what I would define as first round profiles, which for me that's like a top let's call it 16 quarterback.
Yeah.
Top 15, 16 quarterback, a top 40 wide receiver or tight end, or excuse me, a top 20 wide receiver or a first round tight end or then a running back that gets in the top, let's say, round and a half. I think that's kind of where we're looking at. Um, and I think we're going to see a bunch of those guys. So yeah, it'll be good to go dropping off these picks and adding some capital for the 23 drafts. I'm looking forward to seeing how many of those you can get me.
Yeah, we'll find. I think 23 seconds might be like the best buy in Dynasty right now. Could
I
be
agree.
like just how
I
cheap it
agree.
is to get a second round pick from someone, and like you said, there's going to be profiled first round players dipping into the second rookie round, and
Yeah,
if you hit on that rookie second where you got a top four, in the second round, like that's could be really good. You could be getting
I
like a Michael Pittman or an Antonio Gibson type.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm definitely targeting bad teams' second round picks. I think though bad teams 23 seconds are going to be worth the value of a middle first in this year's class.
Yeah, so insane, man. The juxtaposition. I'm just how long will it be until we see something like this? As far as two classes next to each other are so insanely varied.
I don't think. See, I think next year's class is just pretty epic, right? Uh, it's several things cycling. Like several positions hitting at once. I think this class is not as bad as people make it out to be. I
Yeah,
if you look at the last 3 or 4, it looks terrible. But if you look at the last 10, it looks more like a middle because we've just had 2020 was really good, and 2021 was really good,
yeah.
and 2023 is really really good.
Mm-hmm.
So this one just looks like trash, even though it's more like fine than I don't know.
This class we're in right now is kind of sneaky deep at RB. Kinda. I mean, right?
Really is.
Like there's late second round picks, the RBs potential you can get. Tyrion Davis Price, Hassan Haskins, Rashad White, not Rashad, but Zamir White.
Those are all
Interesting.
third round guys.
Okay, well I'm taking them in the late second because I like them. They are. I don't know. There's.
No, I'm saying you can get those guys in the third round.
Yeah, you're
You can
right.
take
Yeah.
them in second too, but like I like them fine in the late second, and then every time I would see them there, I'd be like, but then also, there's Alec Pierce, and there's other guys like there's other things there that I like too. I'm getting you're getting Wandale Robinson at the 301, right? And so for me, several of those guys that especially TTP is sliding in. He's available at 302, 303, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might not see that next year. You might not see premium capital guys going into the round 3. This is a very deep class in 2022. All right, enough rambling about
That's
2022.
enough. Yeah. Hey, thanks for tuning in, friends. We appreciate you to spend some time with us, man. Your time is valuable, and you choose to give that to our channel and listen to us, and that means so much to us. And we're trying to give you actionable information that you can go out there and do stuff with. You can go out there and learn and do things in your dynasty leagues. But yeah, send them out, Greg.
Happy drafting, folks. It's startup season. Have a good one, listeners and viewers.
Get after it. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, become a first round pick, and everyone out there, have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.